truth could be said, we have never seen a political party that has downgraded itself like Zanu PF, especially under the leadership of Emerson Mnangagwa. During the era of Robert Gabriel Mugabe, especially when he was well, we saw him managing the dynamics of Zanu PF, making sure that he keeps the war veterans happy. That is why there was an era where war veterans enjoyed. They were paid 50 kgs, though there wasn't much education in terms of financial management training that was given to war veterans. To some, it became a score. To some, it became an opportunity to spend within a very short space of time without actually guaranteeing or securing their future. Now, this is something that Emerson Mnangagwa has failed dismally to manage the welfare of the war veterans, leading to the war veterans, particularly ex-retired generals, to form their own political party. Guess what? This is definitely a thorn in the flesh of Emerson Mnangagwa. They are attempting to hound the ex-generals who have formed their own political party. But the dynamics are different. These are people who risked their lives, fought for this country. They cannot second guess again going back to the bush and to fight for this country again. So the ZRP it has been hounding them, giving them the most difficult time. But will they win on this one? That is the mind-boggling question. Greetings and welcome to your lovely channel, the Hloniphani Global News. If you are watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us. So, Bulawayo police have been questioning retired soldiers who recently launched a political party in the city, demanding to know why they established an opposition movement instead of joining Zanu PF. You know, it's as if every liberation fighter or every ex-combatant or every ex-soldier has to be part of Zanu PF. Mnangagwa has failed to manage the dynamics. They see him as a liability. That is why they are deciding to form a party which has no traces of Emerson Mnangagwa. Now, the story says early this month, former serving members of the country's security services launched their political party, Guardians of Zimbabwe, GOZ, with its leadership stating the movement was born out of an oath of service to the nation. Its leaders said members of the Guardians of Zimbabwe had witnessed the effects of corruption, poor governance, and the erosion of discipline while serving in the country's security institutions. They formed the party amid mounting opposition from retired generals to proposed constitutional amendments intended to extend President Emerson Mnangagwa's tenure. However, the Zimbabwe Republic Police's CID Law and Order section in Bulawayo has been tracking the guidance of Zimbabwe leaders since the party's launch. According to the party, the police officers first visited guidance of part of Zimbabwe leader Moses Kumbeya's residence on July 9 while he was away, leaving a message before later contacting him by telephone. The following day, officers returned and questioned him for approximately 1.5 hours on matters relating to the formation of the party, his personal background, and his family. On July 20, Kumbeya was summoned by Detective Assistant Inspector Matsibire of the CID Law and Order section at Bulawayo Central Police Station. Now, according he later reported to the CID offices accompanied by his lawyer Bruce Masamvu of the Zimbabwe Lawyers for Human Rights, where he underwent further questioning. According to guidance of Zimbabwe, the latest interrogation focused on and objectives of the party, its position on Constitutional Amendment Act number 3, and whether it would consider joining the ruling Zanu PF. The party said no criminal charges were laid following the interrogation. Guidance of Zimbabwe Internal and External Public Relations Officer, that is Saida Marira Said Kumbweya, responded to a police summons as part of a series of interrogations with law enforcement that began earlier this month. He was asked questions relating to formation and objectives of our political party, as well as information pertaining to President's immediate family. Narira said, "We trust that all interactions between citizens and law enforcement will continue to be conducted in accordance with the Constitution of Zimbabwe and the rule of law." Narira said the formation of the party was a lawful exercise of the constitutional rights of Zimbabwean citizens. Guidance of Zimbabwe was established by patriotic Zimbabweans, including retired members of the security services, who believed in constitutionalism, peaceful democratic participation, national unity, accountability, and the restoration of public confidence in governance. He said he dismissed suggestions that movement was aligned to any existing political party. We remain committed to peaceful engagements, respect for all institutions of the state, and constructive dialogue. We encourage every Zimbabwean to participate peacefully in shaping the country's future through democratic means, Narira added. The launch of Guidance of Zimbabwe is widely seen as a direct response to the deepening succession crisis within Zanu PF, where factions aligned to Mnangagwa and Vice President Constantino Chiwenga are locked in a bitter struggle, with retired soldiers increasingly voicing their support for President's deputy, that is retired General Chiwenga. So, this is what is normally done by the Zimbabwe Special CID section in Zimbabwe. I know when we were forming a political party, they used to call us and would ask, why then are you asking us? On what ground? Are we criminals? When you form a political party, should you be subjected to these nonsensical interrogations by the Zimbabwe Republic Police? And this clearly showed that Zimbabwe Republic Police is an institution that is serving narrow interest of Zanu PF, because how ZRP should only attend to issues of crime, should only attend to criminal activities, not just mere citizens who are participating in politics, where it is their right to participate in political activities of their land, unless they seek the services of the Zimbabwe Republic Police. Then one would understand why then they interrogate the concerned leaders. But if you don't seek their services, they interrogate you, they call you. That on its own, that is overreach from the Zimbabwe Republic Police, because that is not part of their mandate. It clearly shows that this is an instrument, a state instrument, that is used by the current governing party to manipulate it. So, and also Mnangagwa cannot stomach. I was saying this is the normal procedure that they do to all political parties that are formed in Zimbabwe. because they become a threat to Zanu PF, which, by the way, does not want other opposition political party to exist. They fear losing power because they know they are not supported by people. So automatically, when you form a political party, whether a civilian or a retired general, they come after you. But also it must be emphasized that this is a political party formed by retired or ex-soldiers of Zimbabwe. That is what makes Emerson Tambutso Mnangagwa not to have, not to sleep at night, because it has never happened, a scenario whereby ex-soldiers, retired military personnel decide to form a political party. Most of them, they would rather join Zanu PF, or if they are not part of Zanu PF, they will establish their non-governmental organizations, but not form a separate, independent political entity to challenge Zanu PF. It is the first time, and this speaks to obviously succession dynamics within Zanu PF, that Emerson Tambutso Mnangagwa stay and prolonged stay in power definitely is angering a lot of people in Zanu PF, not only in Zanu PF, as well as also within the security cluster of Zimbabwe. That is why you see all these developments taking place. And he understands, he's getting the language that these people are after me. That is why there are such intense interrogation that are consistent, seeking to find out why they are not joining Zanu PF. If you see people with military experience supporting the ruling party, deciding to form an opposition political party, and these are the people who knows the state security secret. And Mnangagwa is not comfortable. If it was in a democratic country, it won't be a problem. You can be an ex-soldier and join any political party of your choice. And there is no one political party that gets to govern the people of Zimbabwe, even without a mandate, or later on to change the constitution without the mandate of the people of Zimbabwe, like what Zanu PF has done. I think it should be emphasized that the illegal constitutional amendment bill number 3 act is not an instrument that is people-centered. It's a criminal instrument. We always said apartheid was legalized. All evil systems, they were turned into law. The law that displaced our forefathers. That law, much as it was anti-people, it at one point became a legal instrument, just like this constitutional, just like even UDI, Unilateral Declaration Law, became a legal instrument that was used by the then government, but that did not make it right. Same applies to what Mnangagwa is doing, and that is why it is not even giving himself peace. It is making him to be insecure, trying to in fact, for these past few days, it has been better. We've not actually, for maybe a week or so, not buried a retired general, military generals. They've been dying like flies, days leading to Constitutional Amendment Bill number 3 of 2026, because quite a number of officers, especially within the security cluster of Zimbabwe, they are fundamentally and in principle opposed to Constitutional Amendment Bill number 3, which has already been transformed into law, signed very quickly by Emerson Tambutso Mnangagwa. And that quick signing on its own, it's a signal to a person like me that Emerson Tambutso Mnangagwa was moving at speed, because he is fighting. He is racing against another faction and is trying to be ahead. He hasn't won. That is why he is still going to just a mere opposition political party formed by ex-soldiers, because he knows that obviously this is not an ordinary political party. This is a party that can be a great deal, particularly politically in Zimbabwe. Thank you very much for watching us. If you are watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us. You can financially support this channel by pressing the join button and be part of our members who are the heartbeat of this channel. You can equally do so by pressing the thanks button and send us stars. Okancuba Mhlabane is signing off. Let me laugh and leave you. Let's meet on the other side of the live broadcast, definitely, as I give you more.